My name is Charlie Delgado.
My name is Megan Deavy.
And I'm Fernando Gallardo.
And we are your excellent, incredible MCs for the night. So, the theme for this year's showcase is Emerging Community Futures. We want to highlight the small-scale changes our projects work towards in their collaborations with local and global communities. We have all learned so much in the ways that we can work together through social, environmental, and digital justice. We are so grateful for all of you who could join us, in person and virtually, to celebrate our Everett students. For everyone joining us on Zoom, we apologize for the audio problems that you may be experiencing. Executive Fellow Phoenix Woodall will be managing the Zoom chat and making sure things run smoothly on the virtual side. Feel free to privately chat with Phoenix if you have any issues with anything. Everyone tuning in on Zoom, get comfortable, relax, strap in, and for you lovely people in the audience today, remember to keep your mask on, please, during the presentations and when you're not actively eating our delicious snacks. That's right. Before we will begin, I will be reading off the land acknowledgement developed in partnership with the Amah Mutsun Tribal Band Chairman and the Amah Mutsun Relearning Program at the UCSC Arboretum. The land on which we gather is the unceded territory of the Awaswa-speaking Yupi tribe. The Amah Mutsun Tribal Band, comprised of the descendants of indigenous people taken to Mission Santa Cruz and San Juan Bautista during Spanish colonization of the Central Coast, is today working hard to restore traditional stewardship practices on these lands and heal from historical trauma. To get started, I'd like to introduce the Everett Program's Executive Director, Dr. Chris Benner, who will be sharing a few words with us today.
So I want to say a couple of things, and one of the things I have to do is vamp a little bit until we download the PowerPoint presentation so the students can actually present here. But I wanted to say first a thank you to the London Nelson Center for hosting us tonight. I wonder if you could all give a round of applause to the London Nelson Center. This is a tremendously important asset to our community. As most of you know, we transferred at the last minute to this venue from being on campus, and they were very accommodating for us. The reason why we're doing that, as you all know, is our graduate students and postdocs and academic research employees are on strike at the moment. And I want to acknowledge them that their working conditions are our students' learning conditions. And it's really important that they have a fair contract with safe and secure employment for all of our students to have effective learning conditions. So we didn't want to hold it on campus while they're in strike. And this is outside of normal class hours and class responsibilities. And so we're very grateful to be here tonight and want to acknowledge the graduate students struggling for right for fair employment. What you're going to hear tonight is the culmination of over a year of students learning, planning, implementing projects in collaboration with community partners. And my job is to really give you a sense of the program, in the Everett Program for Technology and Social Change, in which that set of projects that you'll hear about tonight is embedded. This is a program that was started by student activists now 24 years ago in 1998, who at the time were excited about the learning they were getting on campus, but frustrated they weren't getting more hands-on skills of working with community partners around social justice issues. And so launched an internship program, the Global Information Internship Program, which in the 1990s was really founded recognizing the revolutionary changes that were going on with the development of the World Wide Web, the internet, new technologies, and globalization of our economy. And really figuring out how do we harness those tools, not just to address a digital divide, but really help community organizations harness the power of communication and information tools to help them achieve their social justice goals. So it has grown from those early beginnings to now a minor or an intensive sociology major across campus that has 4 courses at the core of it. And we really talk about a holistic education. So part of it is getting outside of the classroom into the community and really trying to break down these barriers between the university and community work. But it's a holistic education that really addresses heads, hands, and hearts. And so we talk about heads on justice, which is really about understanding systems that produce conditions in the world we want to change. The inequality, the poverty, the suffering that exists in the world. And how do we understand those systems in ways that we're addressing root causes that can transform those systems to lead to better outcomes. So that's the heads on justice part. The hands-on technology part is about learning technology skills, not in a classroom and programming, but really with hands-on work in peer-to-peer collective learning processes. And this is really important for breaking down the barriers to technology access for those populations that are marginalized all too often from the tech industries and tech skills that has really abandoned many of our communities of color and low-income communities. So that's the hands-on tech part. But we also have a Hearts on Change component of the program that is really all about helping students understand their own internal motivations, understanding the strengths they bring to this work from their own life experiences and own backgrounds, how to work together in teams, in collaborative work, and understand historical systems of white supremacy and oppression and how those remain embedded in the legacy of our society and our interactive relationships, and how do we work to overcome those, so addressing power and privilege, both in our work on campus and with each other and with our community partners. And the program is sort of tiered in different ways so that students are learning through practice. First, the youngest students who reach our program are actually high school age students in our Youth Empowerment Institute, which is run by UC Santa Cruz students and working with high school youth in the area to help give them access to technology and access to higher education. And then there are students who are taking the classes that are the core of the program and developing and implementing these projects, which is what you're going to hear about today. But many of those students will stay on in running and governing the program as what we call fellows. And they allocate funding for projects, they run technology labs, they serve as mentors to younger students and project guides. And most of the students you're going to hear from tonight, at the same time that they're finalizing these project presentations and writing up the results of their work, are also serving as mentors for students in the program. And then we also have what we call executive fellows. And these are students who have graduated and stay on in a fellowship capacity to really help run the program. And so I want to acknowledge a few people here in the program tonight. First, the executive fellows, Mo Dick, Tina Bullington, if you could raise your hands, Isabel, Gary, I don't know where Isabel is, right here, and Phoenix Woodall. Please give them a round of applause. And we are really blessed this year to also have a new instructor in our fourth course in the program, Roxana Villalobos, who has been teaching the program this year and really just doing a tremendous job. And Roxana, thank you for being with us tonight and for leading the program, the class this fall. Please give Roxana a round of applause. So I think that's my job, and I'll turn it back to the MCs.
Thank you, Chris. Please give him a great round of applause. So, due to our technical difficulties, we will actually be postponing the keynote speaker until later. That's Adel Muchan. He is a filmmaker, writer, and community organizer from the Bay Area who is incarcerated at San Quentin State Prison during one of the largest COVID-19 outbreaks in the country. So we will be hearing from him later when we are able to fix those technical problems. He's a great speaker, great insight into what the work that we do with our program. And Megan will be joining us on stage shortly.
For this year's showcase, we've divided up presentations by project impact categories, which is noted in the Everett program for this evening. These impact categories are expanding digital access, rethinking tech education, and power and collectivity. Feel free to visit our project website to get a deeper look at all of the presentations today. For today's programming, halfway through the presentations, we will have a Q&A followed by a brief intermission to grab snacks and use the restroom. At the end of the presentations, we will have another Q&A and a raffle for both in-person and remote folks, so stay tuned for that. Reminder to please save your questions for our projects for our Q&A sessions. Those of you joining us remotely, we want to give you a few reminders. Please make sure you keep yourself muted during the presentations, and we'd love to make this as interactive as possible, so please turn on your video if you're able to and ask questions during the Q&A as you wish.